In the last video, we talked about how you can take a sample out of the population. And in this video, we will talk about different types of variables and different types of scales of measurement. Now, suppose let's take an example that you went to company A and you collected the data of 5 employees. This is the sample of the data that you have collected, and you asked those employees few questions that what is their education level, what is their gender, what is their height, income, and you basically ranked them on the basis of their income, and finally you created a flag whether the employee is a senior citizen or not. This is the data that we collected. First of all, let me explain you what is the difference between variables and constants. If you will see, in case of senior citizen, all the rows have single value. There is no difference here. Everything is 11111. That means everyone is a senior citizen in our sample. While in case of income, if you will see, there is some variability in the values. For example, the Rex have income 0 while Hana have income of 800. So there is some variability, there is some different values uh, in this particular column, while in this particular column all the values are same. So these kind of columns are called constant because we have one single constant value in this variable, in this column, while variables are those columns where we see some kind of variation. That's why I have highlighted all these variables and this one as a constant. Since now if we are clear with what is the difference between variables and constant, let's first focus on variables only. There are two different types of variables. First one is qualitative and second one is quantitative. As the name suggests, qualitative variables are basically those variables in which you are basically telling some kind of attribute about our employees, characteristics, attribute, and you are basically creating a categories for our employees. And these are those variables which cannot be counted or quantified. It cannot be counted and it cannot be quantified. To take an example, suppose gender. In case of gender, we are just telling that whether an employee is a female or male. That is, we are creating the categories here about employees, highlighting their attributes. We can't measure it or we can't quantify it that Rex is 20 times some X% female or male or something like that. So that is not the case. So qualitative variables are those variables where we are creating a categories and highlighting some kind of attributes about our observations. While quantitative variables are those variables which can be quantified, which can be measured. These are those variables which can be measured. Like income, you can measure how much David is earning and how much Hannah is earning. Similarly, you can measure their height. So this is the difference between quantitative and qualitative variables. If you will see here, although these are the numbers, but I have mentioned it as a qualitative variable. And the reason for that is these numbers are also representing some kind of category only or ranking only. These are not a measures. It's not saying that how much income Hannah or Sandy is consuming or earning. It's just telling you that whether Hannah is earning more than the Sandy or not. So these are also qualitative variable. It's basically telling you the quality that Hannah is earning more than Sandy, but how much we are not talking about that. That's why since we are creating a kind of categories here, these are also called qualitative variables. If this is clear, then we can move to the second part of the video, which is called scale of measurement. First one is a nominal scale. Within qualitative variables, there is a scale of measurement which is called nominal scale. In case of nominal scale, what happens is you are just creating the categories. In this particular case, we are just creating the categories male and female, and we are not highlighting that which one is more important. There is no angle of order here. We are not saying that male is greater than female or female is greater than male. We are just creating the categories. These kinds of measurement are called as nominal scale of measurement. Nominal, it's just creating categories. Second is ordinal. Ordinal is basically creating categories similar to nominal, plus it is also creating ranks or order of data. Like in our example, education level 10th, 12th, BA, MA, PhD, these are all the categories, but at the same time, we also know that MA is greater than BA and BA is more important than or higher than 12th class pass. So that's how, in case of ordinal variables, we are creating categories, but at the same time, we are also making sure that values are ranked. That is, BA is higher than 12th, 12th is higher than 10th, etc. But how much more important BA is than 12th or MA is than BA, we are not telling it yet. So basically, we know BA is more important than 10th, but how much? What is the difference between the two? We are not telling that. That question is answered by our third type of scale of measurement, which is called interval scale. And interval scale are basically quantitative. First two were qualitative variables, as I have mentioned here. Third one is interval scale of measurement, which happens in case of quantitative variables. Now the limitation of ordinal scale was it is creating category and you can rank, but you can't say how much difference is there. To answer that question, interval scale comes into picture. In case of interval scale, you can tell observation A is higher than B plus by how much. If I'll basically take an example here. In case of height, we can tell that David is more longer than Rex, but at the same time we can also tell that how much longer David is from Rex. While in our previous case, ordinal case, we can say that MA is better than BA, but we can't say how much more important it is. So that is the difference between interval scale and the ordinal scale. Final one is the ratio scale. In case of ratio scale, the only difference is it is exactly similar to interval scale, but the possible value, there is one more possible value, which is 0. And this 0 is not possible in case of the interval scale. So that is the difference between ratio scale and interval scale. In our example, income can be 0, but height cannot be 0. So that is why height is tagged as interval scale, while ratio is basically tagging income. I hope different types of variables and different scales of measurement are clear to you. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And in case of any doubts, please feel free to add your questions in the comment section. Thank you.